Dhamma sharing. As you can see here, our topic forgiveness meditation. But before that, we are trying to see what is forgiveness. Right? This is kind of a mentality that stops us in apologizing, and on the other hand, not forgiving other people. I'm right, you are wrong. Right? This mentality is something that is always going on. I wonder you can see the book. You are not able to see it, right? That's a small issue. Okay. All right. So we have to then move the. No, I will move the whiteboard over there. So come back time to time. Yeah. Probably I can write on this whiteboard. Is it? It's easy. Yeah. So, okay. In the first place, forgiving brings happiness, and not forgiving other people, which means harboring, it will give us suffering. Look, do you agree with that? Ah, what's that? I think it's on. Ah, you're right. Okay. Would you mind holding the microphone? Yes. Right. Because we were looking at the comfort of you, and then yeah, you can slowly bring back over to this side. Ah, center. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Better. Forgiving. What is the Pali word for forgiving? Kama. Kama. Kama means actually Kama means initially apologizing, and thereby uh, the person who has been apologized will be given uh, forgiving. As you can see over here, is confession or repentance a necessary precondition to the Buddhist practice of pardoning or forgiving? What do you think? Do you think other people, those who have harmed you, they should come to you and then say that I did the wrong thing to you, so please apologize. I apologize. Please forgive me. Should that be a precondition, or you have to forgive unconditionally? What is the Buddhist practice? Forgive unconditionally. But there are times it is better if people come and apologize. But in the Dhamma practice, we cannot always depend on that. Some people don't know what to do. Some people are not very expressive. So it is difficult for them to, you don't expect that. So we are supposed to forgive unconditionally. That is how you are healing yourself. You are going to be a better person. Right? Now, there are times with regard to the wrong things other people have done to us, maybe we have done to other people, can be looked at. You can see the transgression as a transgression. Right? Let's see, you are someone who can see that there was a hurt that you done to somebody, and you understand, the other people also understand. Both are on the same page. At that point, if you are a wise person, you are going to forgive that person. If you are not a civilized fool, unwise person, you might not forgive that person. Sometimes there are people who don't look at the hurt as a hurt. They have harmed, others have harmed. Both parties don't look at it as a hurt. Maybe one party only looks at it as a hurt, right? So there are situations like that. So things work different. So I'm trying to say that forgiving is the wisdom, unconditional. Buddhist teachings emphasize that forgiveness is unconditional and does not need repentance from the person who harmed you. Buddhist practitioners regularly train their minds to be adaptable and forgiving, even if the wrongdoer has not repented. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you forgiven everybody who have harmed you, has harmed you in the life? Huh? You have come to the perfect place. I hope that you bring the wisdom back home. Otherwise, this is not going to work. So there are some others who come to learn forgiveness to carry on the hurt to the rest of their life. So we don't need, if we make a safe distance with these people, if they are not in our life anymore, right? So why do we carry unnecessary garbage, trashy things? Look at one of the Buddha's teachings. Apology and forgiveness are two fundamental behaviors that can be viewed as two sides of the same. Somebody is apologizing to you, and you are supposed to forgive. It's not forgiving, according to the Buddha, not forgiving people who have wronged us when they apologize is not a good act. Brother, would you mind scrolling up and down so I don't have to go there? Just go up. Easy form. Example. Scroll up. Yeah, like some more. Interesting. Yeah. Example 1. Anguttara Nikaya 2.21. Sangyutta Nikaya 11.24 explain that there are two types of fools, unwise people. First one, a person who does not see his or her hurt as a hurt, that is the first person. That person does not see the hurt as a hurt. Does it happen to many people in this life? There are people who have been continuously hurting other people or never think that I've been hurting other people. Maybe they think it is a cultural, it's a normal thing. You have to adjust to me. Right? That's the first one. Second one who does not rightfully forgive when the other person has confessed his or her hurt. Now let's say in some ways, with lots of effort, the person who hurt you summon courage and come and approach you, and then like to say that I don't want to have a friendship with you, but I know that I hurt you and I want to apologize to you. At that point, if the person who was hurt is not going to forgive, it is a bad karma. That is what the Buddha says. So Buddha says, if that person is not forgiving the one who is apologizing, because of that, not forgiving the person who hurt, is going to make that person an unwise person, mala, asappurisa. So that means this is a very normal condition in our life. Right? That means sometimes we are not hurting other people, but our actions, our speech, our thoughts sometimes may hurt other people. Why is it? Because we are not really careful enough. Maybe we don't know their culture, we don't know their attitudes, we don't know how they look at certain things, right? So you can see there are two unwise people. One is that who is not looking at the hurt as a hurt, the one that he or she has done to other people. And then the second unwise person is someone who is not forgiving the person who is truly, humbly apologizing. So that means earlier you all told that you haven't forgiven certain people, thereby you have made yourself unwise people. Isn't it? Now you already told me we have not forgiven certain people because of certain problems they made. That means now here uh, let's say the person is not trying to come up and say that sorry or excuse me, but you have a dhamma quality that you should have been cultivating to forgive. Not maybe not in words. Sometimes we don't need to forgive in words. That might make the hurtful person to do more hurt. Sometimes some people are very bad, they continuously hurting other people. But in our thoughts, we have to forgive that person. We have to understand conditions as well. So, if you have not forgiven anybody who has apologized to you or not, that means thereby you are making yourself an unwise. You have to forgive in your deep down heart. So that is very important. On the other hand, there are two wise people. The first being one who sees his or her mistakes, hurt as a hurt, and the second is who is forgiving uh, anybody in his or in her true, sincere heart. So that's where we have to get in our discussion. Second example. Okay, this is a Dhammapada stanza. I think in our OPRC class, which we do every Thursday, we have done this stanza. He abused me. He or she abused me. He or she ill-treated me. Uh, he or she got the better of me. He or she stole my belongings. The hatred, anger, those harboring such thoughts cannot be appeased. He or she abused me. He or she ill-treated me. He or she got the better of me. He she stole my belongings. The hatred, anger of those not harboring such thoughts can be appeased. Buddha. This is something the Buddha uh, said in the Dhammapada. One of these. It's very interesting. Huh? There may be some people who might think somebody abused my young time. Somebody abused my young time, so I can't get it back, right? And somebody took all my belongings. Somebody wasted my young time, maybe a bad marriage, violent marriage, right? And maybe I sacrificed my everything for that person, but now he or she is not in my life even, right? So these are really damages, mental damages, emotional damages to people. But when you look back, don't try to keep bringing those thoughts because this will not help you heal. The first thing is that if somebody is abusing you, try to stay away from that person and start your new life from that point onwards. That is how you're going to make your way out. Not that you are always thinking he did, she did, so I have to do something. It has to be a win-win situation. If he harm me, I have to harm him also. Right? Those kind of thoughts are really not the Buddhist thoughts. Honestly speaking, they are not Buddhist thoughts. There may be some other religious thought. In some other religious traditions, they say if somebody attack your ears, you're gonna attack that person's ear. If somebody attacks your eyes, you're gonna attack that person's eyes. We don't want to talk about what exactly is that religious tradition. They have those, but we don't have it because we are trying to find the peace through our own freedom, right? So then that means the initial root of our forgiveness is lying around not taking any hurt uh, as a win-win thing. That means we have to definitely let go of that particular thing. Forms of hurt. How can we be hurt? Lies to verbal offense or even physical assault. Many aspects of hurt. The link between forgiveness and patience, kanti. What is the link? Kanti, what is kanti? Patience. How much patience are we supposed to? Now people are hurting us. Where is your, what do you call, trigger point where you're going to be angry? There are people, there are times you might say that, don't make me mad. When things really go mad, I don't know what's going to happen, right? What is that? Is it a fine line? Thin line? Fine line or thin line? Where are you going to be Superman? Huh? It depends on your patience. There are people who are very patient, some animals, some cats, some dogs, super patient. They are not domesticated. That means they have practiced patience in a previous life. But there are some other animals who get very mad even from short thing. In the same way, it applies to humans. There are some people who get mad even in a small thing. Right? Maybe their upbringing, their genetic side, their environment, right? Remember the Satyagumba Jataka? It's a Jataka story. Satyagumba Jataka story. You found this Jataka story where one king went to hunt and he got lost. So then he got lost and he somehow ended up in a place of thieves. Thieves are planning all the time, how to break in, how to rob. So what happened was that he slept. He was tired by hunting, so he slept near this thieves spot. Then he heard somebody, a parrot, is saying, "Hey, there's somebody sleeping here. We have to rob him. We have to attack him. We have to take his stuff away. He seems to be having some belonging." He looked up. It's a parrot, because there were two parrots who were living in peace. Because of a certain wind, they were separated. So one parrot ended up in a thieves area. The other parrot ended up in a what do you call, a monastery area, hermitage. So the parrot who was ended in a thieves place, always hearing how the thieves are planning to break in tomorrow. We have to plan tomorrow. Maybe there is an area, somebody who is rich, you're going to attack him, rob him. So parrot is always hearing. So parrot got the conversation of mentality of thieves. And then the king was scared. So he ran to another place. King thought he was ambuscaded. I'm going to have an attack from these people. And then when he went to the monastery area, he said, "Please come in. Have you had your dinner, lunch?" There was another very peaceful parrot. Look, what happened to him? This parrot is always hearing what the ascetics were talking in that monastery. They were talking kind words. They were kind, compassionate, altruistic, right? So, people's upbringing, environmental factors affect their level of patience. So, kanti. So, patience. So, that is very important for us to look at, forgive people. I mean, if we really have high level of patience, we can easily forgive. That means the Buddha said that patience is the root of all the kusala dhammas. Have you heard that? I think I have to highlight that. Kanti is the root kusala. What does root kusala means? Now let's say this circle or whatever, maybe this is a kusala, all the kusala, metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, what do you call, mindfulness, right speech, all these good, what do you call, kusala states of mind. This root of all these kusalas is kanti. Why? If you don't have patience, you cannot practice dana. You have to go to grocery shop, you have to buy, you have to cook, you have to come, you have to sit down. Lots of patience is necessary for doing even a small dana. For a retreat, you need lots of patience to sit down here for the whole day and listen to me and do other things. Then mindfulness, you need lots of patience for that. and then even your other things, even to start a life as a family member, run a household, you need lots of patience. So patience is the root kusala. Root kusala. Then what is the root akusala for all the bad things? Anger, hatred, what do you call stinginess, mindlessness, then no compassion. What is the root problem? Why all these apusalas are coming up? Because of huh? No patience to understand what's going on. Ignorance is the main thing, but when the apusalas are hitting us, affecting us, we should take some time to understand what is this. I'm having thoughts of killing other people. I'm having thoughts of attacking others. Right? I'm getting angry. What's going on? Take some time. Give some time to understand what is going on. That means root akusala is also lack of kanti. So when you have kanti, the rest is well taken care. So kanti is the most important root kusala for all the dhamma practices, not even small. Can you go up a little bit? No, go up. Go up, brother. Yeah. I think he has patience. He's so excited. What is below, Now please go down a little bit. I think you better look at this screen and then scroll up and then. Okay, forgiveness as an act of metta. Can you go up a little bit? Okay. So, what is the connection of forgiving to the Brahma Viharas? Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. What is the connection? If you haven't forgiven, you cannot practice Metta. You cannot practice Karuna. You cannot practice Mudita. You cannot practice Upekha. Don't even think about it. You can't. You will do like a little tiny way, but you are not progressing. Why? When it comes to metta practice, how to practice unconditional metta? We have to practice loving kindness unconditionally. How to practice it unconditionally? What is your way of practicing metta? Do you practice metta every day? How do you do it? Wishing ourselves be happy and others as well. Who do you mostly pick up in your metta practice? The loved ones, beloved ones? All beings. In that all beings category, are you particularly bringing the difficult people? Now you said that. Mhm. No. So time to time, we have to review whether we are bringing the difficult people in our metta practice. So the names of XYZ of difficult people depends. Let's say you are in a household. A lot of people they say, I've been practicing metta meditation every day, but I have a difficult person in my household all the time, messing up, bringing lots of problems. I ask, do you include that difficult person in your metta practice? Not exactly. I would say all living beings, but not exactly by specifying that person. Then I would say expect lot of sufferings then. Why? That difficult person does not feel your metta. So you have to particularly focus on the difficult people after you and the loved ones. I always share that story of a monk who was bitten by a snake. This is the very famous story for that. Right? The monk was practicing unconditional metta, but he did not specify the setbacks in his metta. Setbacks. We have setbacks in metta practice. What are the setbacks? Oh, our own difficult ones. The people who are trouble us all the time. Remember that story? There was a monk, Jayatana who always says that he practices metta. He told other monks, don't disturb me. Don't even knock my door. I'm practicing metta, such a serious metta practice. I don't know what meditation you do by closing doors and locking the doors and becoming an introvert that much. That's why we need kalyana mitta. That's not the meditation. Sometimes you be stuck unless you be locked up in a room, like the child I know. There was a child who was very disruptive, very aggressive, and then in Canada, so what father does is when he was very aggressive, he brings him to a room and lock him up in the room. In the room there is a Buddha statue. So he is very mad at someone in the house, so he is looking at the Buddha statue for many hours. Then father is opening the door, which is not a good practice. Right? So this monk has been practicing metta in his own way, not the one that we are talking now, in his own way. So one day when he opened the door, when he went out, everybody knew that there was a cobra going here and there. He was bitten by that cobra and he passed away. So other monks were really confused because he was always saying, I am practicing metta, metta, metta. But cobra attacked him in particular. What is going on? Then the Buddha was informed. He said, yes, he has been practicing his own way of metta. Right? Own way of metta. Like some people say, I do my own meditation. But I don't feel I am progressing. Why? You haven't done it the proper way. You can do your own reading. You can do your own practice. But you have to have a certain root base from a certain good teacher, some kalyana mittas. It is necessary. Self-practice has to be done after that. So the Buddha said, yes, I understand he has been practicing his own way of metta, but what happened was that he did not include 4 types of reptiles in his metta practice. Can I get a new pen here? It is always here and there. Just give me another. It's always making sound. Let's try. Yes. Much better. All right. This is much better. So the Buddha said this particular monk has not given metta to 4 types of reptiles. We call them uraga. The first one is Virupak, Erapat. These are names of their tribes. Chabbyaputta, Kanha Gotama. So all these are reptile categories which have cobra is in one category, python is in one category, the black snake, rattlesnakes, they all are in different categories. So now he was living in a in a snake area. So he did not include snakes in particular in his metta practice. So snakes did not feel his metta. He was attacked. That means if you are living in an area where there are lots of elephants, then you have to particularly bring these wild elephants into your metta practice so they can feel your metta. Going back to the household, there is a very difficult person in the household. You cannot change that person. Maybe a family member, sibling, maybe somebody. So you have to always include this person in your metta practice separately. Then that person will feel your metta, maybe responding to you differently. So in order for you to do that, you must have lots of forgiving nature. You have to forgive, and then you can practice metta. Then karuna, you cannot practice compassion without forgiving people. That means karuna is that you are trying to have lots of compassion towards others. Compassion would not come because of unforgiving others. Have you ever seen, I don't want to help that person, whether such a bad person hurt me a lot, so I'm not going to be compassionate. That means when you don't have forgiving nature, you cannot even practice karuna. Mudita, being able to be happy with other people's achievements. The person who hurt you is now thriving, progressing. Everybody else is saying, see, look at this person is growing very well, becoming famous, growing. But you know what happened to you. Something happened to you with that person. But you are not forgiving that. I don't want to accept his progress because he hurt me, she hurt me. Upekha means the perfect state of mind that we should have as a Buddhist. Not being overwhelmed by happiness, not being overwhelmed by suffering or dukkha. Perfect level. Right? So mudita is very interesting also because you have to forgive in order for you to practice mudita. Right? I remember there was somebody in one of the retreats some time ago, and she said that she has lots of anger towards the boyfriend who cheated on her actually. So then her question was that I have lots of anger because I've been spending a lot of time for this man, and I didn't know. I found out he's with somebody else at a certain point. So at that point onwards, I've been cursing. The curse was that may you be ever single. And she was telling me, Bhante, he's still single. What do you think? Do I still have metta? I said, I don't think so. Right? If you don't have anything anymore with this person, why do you carry unnecessary garbage about him? Just let go. You should heal and you should find out your own way. So you can't even see that person's motive. It's like that somebody is blocking someone on a social media, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And always, there was one person actually I know in Canada, back in Canada as well. She has a problem going to see the block list on social media. I said, why are you going to look at that block list? I'm just wondering, this person will come back again from the block. I said, it won't happen. You block this person. Don't worry, don't look at the block list. It's a block list. They won't come back. You already put them away. Why are you still carrying this blocking mentality? They are blocked unless they make a new account and come back again. Block list means blocked. Right? So there are people who are struggling a lot in different normal ways, sometimes not normal ways too. So the bottom line is you cannot practice Brahma Viharas if you don't forgive. When you forgive, the more Brahma Viharas are happening in your life. If you are so concerned about Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, the best thing is first you need to overcome unforgiving part. Forgive more, then more Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha will arise in your life. I think we discussed that. Forgiveness is not only a form of self-interest, but indeed the best form of self-interest. What is that? Now, we don't have to be spiritually enforce this thing all the time. People might think, why do we have to learn from Buddha? You always follow the Buddha and other people. Forgiveness is not just a Buddhist practice. It is one of the best self-interest to become a better person. Now, there are more people becoming atheists in many countries. Agnostics, no religion. They are no religious, they are not religious, but spiritual. It's a new young generation. You don't have to learn it from the Buddha all the time, but because it's good self-interest to understand. Yes. Yes. All right. Yes. Forgiveness. Yes. Forgiveness allows us to be liberated from memories of our past souls. It really helps us to heal. It has the potential to develop even though it can rise spontaneously. Sometimes the memories can come at different times. When we are working with other people also, past memories can come. But if you really understand the point of forgiving, even they won't come back that much, because you already let them go. You must possess a comprehensive understanding of the concept of forgiveness before engaging in forgiveness practice. To understand more about what is forgiveness. Forgiveness does not in any way justify or condone harmful actions. It does not justify. But while you extend forgiveness, you may also declare, I will never again knowingly enable this to occur. This is very interesting. That means you made a mistake with that person, but now you are telling yourself, I'm not letting this happen again. That has to be there. You can resolve the situation to prevent more harm. Forgiveness does not necessitate that you pursue or communicate with those who have caused you harm. You have the option of never encountering them again, because you have to forgive you first in the first place. Some people think, why we have to forgive? Actually, you are forgiving you in the first, not other people. Oh well, because of the timing, go a bit faster. Okay, so you can understand what is forgiveness. Can we go a little bit down? Okay, right, some more down. Yes. Okay, let's talk about this point. Now, others' unforgiveness is easier to see. It is easier to notice how past situations affect them. Now, we can see when other people are struggling in their life with a lot of frustrations, angers, about people who have harmed them. Number two, I'm more aware of when I'm not accepting or forgiving, but I still reach those emotions even though I'm aware of them. Does this happen to us? Sometimes we know this is bad, but still it's happening. Why is it? We know we are supposed to forgive, but still it is coming up. Why is it? Huh? We have not properly forgiven other people the proper way. So how to do it? We have to understand what happened. We have to always think, whenever it arises, we have to immediately understand what happened and then understand that our responsibility to forgive. Don't encourage, don't give validations for not forgiving other people. That's why we cannot. Number three is, as time goes on, people forget how important it is to forgive for the present as well as the past. To forgive, we are taught to think about the past, but that is only half of the process. The other half is to do it in the present. This can save a lot of pain and trouble. Now, let me ask you something. Do we have a Dhamma word, Pali word for the repentance? Are we supposed to be remorseful, regretful about our actions? Huh? Huh? Are we supposed to repent on our actions before taking up a new initiative? What is it called? Kukucha. Kukucha. Kukucha means remorse. Kukucha. Guilty feelings, huh? That guiltiness. Even some animals, they feel when they messed up. They know they are hiding, in every nook, and they know that the owner will find it out. They feel it, right? So remorse. Are we supposed to have a remorse? How to do it? Actually, Kukucha is a part of Pancha Nivarana. Huh? Pancha Nivarana. What are the Pancha Nivaranas? Sensual desire, ill will, then sloth and torpor, restlessness, and remorse. This one is a part of it. Fifth one, doubt. We call them 5 hindrances. So then, if the remorse is good, why it is a part of Pancha Nivarana? What are the Pancha Nivaranas? things that obstruct us in looking at the reality. Now I see, let's see, I'm looking at the Malaysian flag over here. I cannot see it properly because I'm seeing through this fire. I see it through sensual desire, ill will. If I have a different thought about Malaysia, that political perspective, I'm looking at the flag, and some laziness about understanding truth. Maybe I have not enough, I don't have enough rest today. I have not slept well, I have not taken care of my. So when I look at without that rest, I see the object a little differently. I have certain remorse and doubts. So these five always come in front of me and disturb me in looking at the reality. So I want to put them away and then see the reality. So remorse is one of them. So then how come it is going to be a good factor in a different level? Let's say somebody has done a bad activity, bad karma, especially hurt someone. He or she has to first understand what bad karma I did. So that thing is called remorse. But do not stay in this state of mind a lot. Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? Why is not someone supposed to stay, feel it, but don't dwell in that? Why is it? Dwelling is a problem with remorse.
Depression.
Huh? Yeah, depression. But when someone is in the remorse for long, what is happening is that this person will develop lot of dosa, hatred. Because she always think things could have happened differently. So there are a lot of should haves, what if going on at that point. Now when from the apology perspective, when someone has done wrong to someone, this person is always thinking, I should have not talked to that person that way. I should have not worked with that person this. I should have not got into this marriage. I should have not worked with that person. So all these should haves, could haves, what if, these probable thoughts are always bringing this person to the remorse. Then what will happen? They are in conflict with what happened in the past. Right? Can you change your past? You can't change your past. One thing that we can't get in our life is change. Change is our past. We can't change our past. So remorse is okay to understand the problem, but not to dwell in that moment. Dwell more in that moment. It's like a lot of people asking how to stay in the present moment. Does it mean that I forget about all my past? I don't plan for future and I stay in the present moment. How to stay in the present moment? A lot of misconceptions going on. Time to time, it is okay to go to the past and understand our mistakes, how we blundered, screwed up in our past, but never stay in the past because past has gone already. Time to time, we need to plan ahead the future, but we don't live in the future because future has not yet come. Bringing the lessons from the past and plans from the future and making sure that my present moment is the best version of my life. That is what we want. Not go. A lot of people, what they are doing when they go to the past, they cannot come back. Right? They cannot come back. It's like that. Somebody is very happy to look at their young photos. Sharing. So many 10, 15 years of photos. They're happy. It's good to feel good about oneself. Right? So, yes, we understand. You are young. People are young. But when you go back, you understand what happened. But not calling you old now. Because Buddha is not happy that you call that you are old. You know that? In many suttas, Buddha says, don't grow old faster. But people who misunderstand anicca, this Pali word is a largely misunderstood word. Change. I call it change, not impermanence. Change. Change is impermanence. This was given to understand life. This was given to understand life. In many suttas, Buddha says, Sanikang ayu. Sanikang ayu. When he was talking to King Kosala, he was mentioning, don't grow old fast. Grow old slowly. Why is it? People grow old faster because of their mismanaged lifestyle. Because if you grow old faster, the death is not that far away from that time. Then when you die, you never know where you're going to be reborn. Whether you will see Dhamma, know Dhamma, read Dhamma, what will happen to your practice? So if you can live more, you can practice more. Right? So understand this anicca, Pali word anicca in a really progressive way. Not in a way that, see, I get my first white hair, my teeth are broken now, I'm getting wrinkles. Oh, why don't you go for anti-aging stuff, right? Feel good about it. You know you're going to die. But yeah, I have to make myself good. It's good, feel good. But you understand you're going to die. So you are under the anicca concept at that point. If you are not feeling good about you, how are you going to bring Dhamma into your life? This Dhamma is to you, right? Not to other people in the first place. So, misunderstood, misuse, abusive words to many people. They abuse these Pali words. Even Pali word dukkha. This happens when we actually talk Buddhism to young people. And then there was a retreat some time ago, and we were talking about dukkha, and an undergraduate from a TZM course, stood up saying, Bhante, why Buddhism is saying life is suffering? We all trying to be happy. Why they are talking on suffering? I said, Buddhism does not talk about suffering. Buddhism talks about dukkha. Dukkha means that we may have minor frustrations initially, and then if you don't understand the minor frustration, that will lead to the suffering. Right? We all are trying to be happy. That's why Buddhism, the way how the present way of presenting Buddhism is attracting many young people. They are going away from the temples everywhere. Because we are not presenting them the right version of Buddhism. It's not the problem with Buddhism, it's the problem of how the Buddhism is being presented. You see, in every vihara, young people cannot feel that they want to come. See, why do we have to go? To learn life is suffering? We want to be happy. My mom and dad, they become old, but I don't want to be like that. So, the problem is not Buddhist concept, it's about how to present it. So we need a certain kind of remorse to understand. So, so going back to the timing, we need to stay in the present moment by learning from the past and by planning the future, incorporating the both in the present moment. That time management also helps you to forgive. Some people, they are messed up in time management, so they cannot forgive. Go back to the past, stay in the past, and they waste the past time. Brother. Yes, It is easy to forgive someone from a distance. However, what appears to be simple from a distance becomes rather complex when done in person. No matter how much you believe you have forgiven someone, old habits of anger toward them can resurface. Yes, sometimes we are able to forgive, but in person we feel little uncomfortable. But you have to overcome that too, if possible. So there are issues like most people are unaware of their underlying resentments or forgiveness conditioning from childhood. They just don't see how it affects the present or even know it is there. Forgiving someone in your mind or even just believing that you have forgiven them is not the same thing as actually doing it. Now, there are people who have been carrying lots of anger from childhood. Now, if you go to North America, you see the First Nations. These First Nation people, today's young people, they have never heard what happened. The British colonizers went to North America and they brought chicken pox, and they let these First Nations, got affected. So all the hatred uh, has become a certain generational anger. We call it generational anger. Very interesting. Sometimes anger comes from our ancestors. Yeah. They pass down they pass down genetics, they also pass down their anger. Generational anger. So we have to be very careful. This is not a rocket science. When you live in a household, mother, father always talking about who harmed them. So you are hearing them what they are talking. After 10, 20 years, you also get the same anger. So they are saying somebody harmed our family, somebody hurt us. So children are looking at what they are talking. Overall, they get affected by this generational anger. They pass the generational anger through the words and through genetics as well. Yeah. So we may have some bad childhood. It's okay because you can't change it. But what is important is that you need to move on. This is very important. Moving on is very important. When you move on, you don't give chance for any trashy garbage that happen in your life. Move on. When you move on, you practice anicca very well. Anicca is not something to practice when you stopped. Anicca can be practiced very well when you move on. So you don't feel that anicca is going to be a difficulty. Yes. I only picked up certain things to save the time. Okay. In terms of forgiving other people, we should have a good intention. Our volition matters. Why? We should have a good volition that I must forgive these people. I don't need to carry on. So volition matters. Buddhist theory posits that all, sorry about the academic language, I'm going to make it a little simpler, are impermanent and devoid of a self-essence, which means that someone who is an enemy today may become a friend tomorrow. In other words, forgiveness is not only feasible, but also a sensible action. What does it mean? Now, we have a very interesting Pali concept, Buddhist word, to understand our life. What is it? Can you imagine that Pali word? What is it? That is the magic word that will change you in 1 second. Have you heard this Pali word? Ananta. Anicca, dukkha. This understand leads up to Anatta. Anatta means not self, not non-self, because we have a self. Otherwise, who is having the pain here? Is it the Buddha or somebody else? No, it's me. If I have a pain, it's my leg. Who is dying? It's me. So self is dead. But at a certain point, you understand I cannot take myself as self. That is a higher understanding. If we understand this anatta in a little bit more details, we will never stop forgiving other people. Why? People are always changing. Say, for instance, by 11:20 a.m., somebody blamed me. Somebody hurt me. Maybe a few years back. But now, let's say in a moment of time, 11:21 a.m., now somebody is asking me, really, that person blamed you, criticized you. Actually, it was not me. It was my previous self. It's not me. So why do I have to take it? The Buddha says everything is anicca. Every moment we are going through anicca. So why do we have to take it personally? So the magic word is anatta. It's not the word, the concept. If we understand anatta, then nobody can hurt us because we are always changing. Right? There's a story that one man spit on the Buddha. One story. He was not happy that his wife and children go to the Dhammatram. So he spit. So on the second day he came and he said, I spit on you. Don't you feel? Are you not angry? Say, I don't know which self you spit. If I find, I will let him know that you spit on him. That means if we understand anatta, we are not taking things in that way because we are always changing. Even that person also changing all the time. So anatta is what you call by not self. Right? Okay, I think now because of the timing, yeah, I'll do something. Can you make it a little bigger? Like bigger? Yes. Okay, good. Oh, you have a interesting. Give it to me. Yeah, that's better. You found the right. Okay. Only just. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. So now we are learning how to practice forgiveness as a meditation. Okay. How to do it? So we first, in order for us to practice forgiveness meditation, we start with anapanasati, breath meditation. So how to start breath meditation? First one is sitting comfortably. Sit comfortably. Then what are you supposed to do? Keep your back straight. Then third, uh, hands resting. Rest wherever comfortable. Then tongue on the roof, the mouth. Why is it? It is easy for you to concentrate. Then eyes, allow your eyes to gently close. Open, eyes open or close. Physical preparation, this part. Then 6, scan your body. Scan your body. After that, relax your body. Alright, now we are prepared for the meditation. Then what is happening? Now we are going to practice the most important part of the breath meditation. Watch breath for rising, staying and going away. This is our breath meditation. We are going to watch how individual breaths are rising, lasting and then going away. When we practice this part, when we watch our breath, at a certain point we feel we are very calm. You know that place, it depends. When you are calm enough, then you are shifting that calmness to these angles. Forgiveness meditation. First, you have to forgive yourself. How to do it? We are going to do it in the evening, but now there are many ways that I have hurt and harmed myself. I have betrayed or abandoned myself many times through thought, word, or deed, knowingly or unknowingly. So I want to feel my precious body and life. Let myself see the ways I have hurt myself. Picture them, remember them. Feel the sorrow I carried from this and sense that I can release those burdens. Extend forgiveness for each of the people I have hurt and harmed. Repeat to myself for the ways I hurt myself through action or inaction, out of fear, pain, confusion. I now extend a full and heartfelt forgiveness. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. That is for me. I start from, because now we come to the calmness of the breath. We are shifting that calmness onto the forgiving meditation part. First, myself. Second, others. Same information, but we are thinking about how how I have hurt other people. Now, initially, how I hurt myself. Are there people who hurt themselves? Yes, right? They don't. The what do you call, the flip side is they don't self care, so they are hurting themselves. They don't take a shower. They don't go for a massage. They don't go for a manicure, pedicure. Tiny. I start from tiny little things. They don't give a rest. They don't sleep. They don't talk to their family members. They suffer a lot, right? So they give a very less time for themselves. So I think you have to forgive yourself because you have to understand that you did not take care of yourself, right? Even not learning more dhamma. I didn't want to do it, right? Think about all the self harm you've been doing to yourself. Tiny little small secular mundane things from there to the spiritual levels. Then second, to the other people, whether I have hurt other, the moments I hurt other people, harmed others, betrayed, same information that you did for other people. Then the third part, brother, myself, hurt I did for myself, hurt I did to other people, and the hurt other people did for me. We are going to look at it at the end. Okay, see, there are many ways that I have been harmed by others. Abused, abandoned, knowingly. This is the biggest issue for many. So you're going to give up, offer forgiveness to all these people. Finally, let yourself gently repeat these three directions: forgive myself, forgive others, uh, but those harms I done to myself and to others. But the third level of harm, other people done to me. Until you feel a release in your heart. For some great pains, you may not feel a release, but only the burden and the anguish or anger you have held. Touch this softly. Be forgiving of yourself for not being ready to let go and move on. You have to forgive yourself why you have not been able to let go and move on. Interesting words, huh? Let go and move on. Let go and move on. Miracles in our life. If somebody can do these two, life will be full of blessing. Let go and move on. Forgiveness cannot be forced. You can't force anybody to forgive, but it cannot be artificial. Right? Simply continue the practice and let the words and images work gradually in their own way. In time, you can make the forgiveness meditation a regular part of your life. After today, tomorrow, letting go of the past and opening your heart to each new moment with a wise, loving kind. Then metta is coming at that point. You can go to metta at that point. You are ready. You are ready to start Brahma Viharas at that point. When you fully dismount, unpack all the unforgiving thoughts, then you are ready to start the true Brahma Viharas at that point. That's why there is a wise, loving kindness done. All those people who have not forgiven others, they still say they practice metta, karuna, mudita. If you ask them, I do my metta, I do my whatever. But if you ask them how do they do it, they are only doing a partial, fractional, marginalized metta. Right? They are not doing the full heart kind of practice. All right, so this is what we are going to do in the rest of today and tomorrow. So what we need to understand is that you are going to shift this calmness that you are reaching from Anapanasati onto the what you call forgiving meditation, Kama Bhavana. So it is not just an attitude; it's going to be a meditation. It can be a meditation. So you are going to let go and move on. This is the plan. Thereby you are healing yourself, and you can practice metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. Upekha means the highest version of your spiritual life, that you are even making enlightenment process as well. All right. If you have any questions, please keep the questions for tomorrow Q&A. I think what I can do here is, if you have any questions, I think they can give you a small paper, pen and paper. If you are not there to ask the questions in person, so you can write them and then put the questions in a box. So then I will take one by one tomorrow. Otherwise, you can ask the questions. Yeah. So today after lunch, we're having a Q&A for meditation, because there are a lot of newcomers here. They don't know even what is mindfulness meditation sometimes. So have a very simple Q&A discussion. But Q&A about this topic will be tomorrow. All right, I think it's almost time for us to go for the dana time. May all the good karmas we be making today by learning what is forgiveness. Why is it very important in our spiritual practice? Why forgiveness will be a meditation. May all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so please make your way to the Dana hall on the other side of the Vihara, and you are going to be back here by 1:15. So you have, after Dana, you have a rest until 1:15. So on 1:15, 1:30, we are doing a walking meditation. So please be here. Please be here by 1:15.